Robert and Michelle King, welcome. Thank you for coming.
Good to see you.
As I was watching this pilot, which I loved, it dawned on me that it is rare that a broadcast television show scares me. Why do you think it is so hard to do real horror on broadcast television? You've succeeded with this pilot.
You're sweet to say so.
That's nice.
It's hard to do horror or scares, real scares on TV, because you've seen all the gags. You know they're going to walk around the corner and a cat will jump out first. And it always feels like you have to be a little off rhythm, because TV, because it has so many collaborative hands, sometimes the process at the beginning doesn't know how the process at the end is going to work. So everything tends towards the tropes that people know on TV work. And I think horror is like comedy, or scares are like comedy, where it actually is a very intensive, you know how joke works because you know how the space should be between the lines. The lines themselves aren't funny, it's the space between. Same thing as with scares. It's that you have to set things off rhythm. So anyway, I think it's the collaborative nature of TV that kind of flattens things out.
What was the inspiration for this show? Because I'm watching it, it's like I get a little bit of X-Files, I get a little Exorcist in there. What was your inspiration?
I would say it's a continuation of a conversation that Robert and I have been having for the last 30 years about where does evil come from? And we have a different point of view about it. And so it was nice to put it on the air.
I mean, we argue about it, or discuss. And what it thought would be good is to have Katja's character and Mike's character continue that discussion in some way. And that's the idea, how much...
Is there a religious base, or, is it scientific?
And we're really talking about how Columbine started school shootings. I mean, is that something that is almost like evil spreading its wings, or is it that, a genetic makeup of someone makes them go, I'm angry at my teachers now, or I'm angry about being bullied, so I'm going to shoot it up. And I think that's where what's interesting is the drama of why.
You've worked with Mike Coulter before. Yeah. Did you hear that Luke Cage was ending and immediately get on your phone and oh my God, we have a show for you?
Yes. Basically, it was like, yeah, thank you Netflix, thank you Disney, releasing him from your clutches. I mean, he's like, I forgot who said it best. I thought it was Emily Nussbaum said he's so sexy, he's like a planet of geographical sexiness. It's just he's a really good person to have in the position of having some religious connection on the show, to portray that character.
But also the sexual tension, between him and Katja, he has sexual tension with everybody. Even the male cast members on the show, it's like you want him to have sex with everybody. He's so fucking hot. What is it about him, do you think, that has that appeal?
Well, he's just a wonderful actor and a great person, which is one of the reasons we want to work with him again.
It's a rare thing.
Yeah.
And on the sexiness, I had to talk to him because it really isn't there. He's Wally Cox, the way he talks, that's what Mike Coulter. And so I just said, deepen your voice. Wow. Women are attractive.
You are a masterful director, yes. So it would not surprise me. What is the episode order for this first season? Because you've become really spoiled with the Good Fight. Is it 13?
At this point, it's 13.
Will you go longer if CBS wants you to, or are you 13's the max we're going to do in one season at a time?
It could go up to 15, we don't know.
Okay. We don't want to repeat 22. And 23, which Good Wife was. Right. It just is a killer.
Is it because of your experience with the Good Fight that now you know the difference? You've experienced the difference between a full season and...
Yeah, I mean, it's the difference between being able to breathe and not.
And also, because we're continuing on the Good Fight, there's a little bit of an overlap between Evil and Good Fight, so we're going to be doing both at the same time. And then Your Honor will be going on in New Orleans, so even though we're in a supervisory role of that, we're not show running that day to day.
Right. Can I throw a couple of Good Fight questions at you?
Please.
First, the show was so robbed Emmy-wise. To me, it was the best drama on television last year. The show was so phenomenal.
I'm glad you're right.
And where are you in the planning of the new season?
Well, the writers have not come back yet. That doesn't happen until September. We've started talking about it and mulling it over, but we've not really dived into it yet.
And there's some inevitable things we have to answer from this season before that usually propel you into what you're doing this season, and I think it will.
I was watching the finale and certainly thinking this is Rose Leslie's final episode. This is Maya's send-off. There still seems to be some ambiguity about that. What can you say about her future on the show moving past this season?
It is her send-off. Now, she's still alive. So,
They didn't kill her.
And we adore the actress. So, yes, one always would love. But in fact, no, this is as the character was meant to go off.
Right. And then just lastly, a lot has been made of Juliana maybe coming on, and she almost came on last season. Have you given up that quote-unquote fight, or is there still a chance that could happen?
I don't anticipate Alicia Florrick being on The Good Fight at this point. We adore Juliana, and so if we are able to work with her again at some other project down the line, that would be fantastic, but I don't anticipate that here.
Will the Schoolhouse Rock interludes continue?
We are in conversation with Jonathan Colton and the Canadian company that does in the animation. We're going to pursue other ways to utilize it. So the hope is yes, because we have a lot of fun doing them. Look, here's
obvious.
the thing. Yeah, here's the thing
I know,
about The Good Fight.
Like way too much fun.
Half of it is entertaining ourselves, and I think part of that's good. Yeah. Part of that is like, all right, at a certain point it's masturbatory that we're having so much fun. And the audience should join us on what's fun. And if they're not, we'll change our tune. But I do think there's something really cool about a show that can create other structures. Because we wanted the structure this year to be unpredictable, what would come next and what might come next. And I think that's fun because even in streaming, you kind of know what's going to happen next. Mm-hmm. You kind of know that, all right, I know how movies run, and so I know what the next beat will be. And I think what's fun about being given a free hand is you can kind of make it up as you go along, which I think that format allows.
And this last season was one of the things I loved about it was unpredictable structure-wise, and I like when you play with the form in a way that's interesting, but also in a way that seems organic to the story and is pushing it forward. And it just doesn't seem like a gimmick.
And now partly it is this feeling like, okay, I've been put in one of those big dryers and tumbled dry. That's what the news feels like. So we always want the feeling of the show to reflect, all right, how does it feel to be alive right now? And versus the way we all were 5-6 years ago. There just seems to be this sense of history just becoming a bit unmoored. And I think that's what's really we enjoy about The Good Fight is doing that.
Yeah.